4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really wanna talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, I'm queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here. 4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really wanna talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, I'm queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here.
Dave, hand me a beer.
Everybody.
Hey, yo.
We would have done that much better if we put Willow in charge of it.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Who's Willow?
Is this short guy in this movie? Never mind.
Yeah. The most important film
AJ
you'll ever
likes
see in your
magic.
life. Dude, Willow was one of my favorite movies growing up. Do you love that movie? 'Cause I
Willow,
love that
you
movie.
idiot.
My
Yes, I love
sisters
that
like
movie.
that one, but I think it creeped me out. I can't really remember.
Yeah, they
I just
had those-
remember.
Is it like The Hobbit?
Kind of, yeah. They had those
I was
creepy,
guessing.
they had those creepy
Yeah,
monster
nailed
crawly
it.
guys that went up like the side of the wall, and that always got me as a
That
child.
was scary.
Yeah, it was.
Mad Mardigan. That was Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
Oh, about
yeah.
him.
He had great hair that probably wasn't his. It looked like a wig.
He was
in that
very
movie.
young.
Yeah, he was.
80s movie.
But this is not the Willow that we're going to be
No,
talking about
no,
today.
the Willow chip that Google made. Did you guys see it?
You told me about it a little bit, but I don't even know what that
I have no
means.
clue.
Is it a tiny little
So,
thing
I'm
that
not-
goes inside of a
I think
phone?
chip, I
Yes,
think
something. I think.
Doritos.
I think it is. Yes, you can eat it, and it's nacho cheese flavored. Also, from what I hear, borrows information from other dimensions. So the whole thing I read and
This
saw,
sounds tasty.
yeah,
Delicious.
was that
Yum.
they create
Come with
Google.
a side of Twinkie.
It should, if it doesn't. Google created this quantum chip that they gave a problem to, that they said would take the fastest computer in the world, like, I don't even remember how many universe time lengths it would take our best computers in the world to solve the problem, but it's not feasible. It just would never happen over and over and over again. And the Willow chip solved it in 5 minutes. And so they asked it, like, however you ask a chip, whatever, like how it was able to solve it so fast. And it told them that it didn't have enough information in this dimension, so it borrowed things from other dimensions to be able to finish it out, which is
Whoa.
Mind blowing.
I am so excited to see where everything leads.
And this chip, it was just speaking the answer.
I think
Just
it types it.
types the answer.
I think it does. I mean,
Like
they
on
could
a
probably
DOS
you could put
computer?
it in a robot like
With a green
ChatGPT or whatever, and it
blinking
could
light.
probably speak to you. But it's like, yeah, its own. It's the newest, latest, and greatest, apparently. So
I wonder if it could
Go.
ask what dimensions did you borrow it from, or what information
It'll just be
from
like-
what dimension.
I have
The
questions
dimension
for sure.
I have
doesn't
questions.
Have a name in your dimension. That's what.
Yeah,
they'll say.
probably.
Unable to process that request.
Yeah.
I was told
Just
not
be
to
like,
share
"Fuck
with you. Yeah, that's right.
Fuck you from 10 dimensions.
But great name. 10 out of 10 on the name.
Yeah.
Willow.
Willow.
Yeah, I
Great
like that
name.
actually.
Yeah.
Bravo. Good information. I'll have to.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
What else were we going to
Right.
talk
Nice.
about? Oh, TikTok. Is TikTok really going away? I was in the same boat as you, Jake, where I'm like, oh, I've heard that before. There's no way it's actually going away.
It does. seem
But
like
it is starting to really feel like it might be going away, and I'm not sure I know how to live without TikTok.
It could be one
anymore.
of those things.
It's my answer to everything.
It could very well be one of those things where because the whole thing is like they're forcing them to sell it to an American company so that it's not a Chinese company, apparently, because they're worried about whatever spy, whatever. And so it could be a total thing where like the last day before, when they've exhausted all options, they just sell it to someone else and it keeps going because it's too valuable. Like to just let it leave America. I mean, the rest of the world has it, so they're still making a ton of money. But
Well, maybe somebody else will buy it and it'll be like Talk Tick.
there you go.
It'll
There
be
you go.
something, so we still have
Maybe
it.
you
would
should
be
buy it. It
great.
could be Talk Tiff.
There you go.
Tiff Talk.
TikTok.
Tiff
TikTok.
Talk.
There's an app that people have been talking about
Genius.
the last couple days, and it's called like Little Red Book.
Oh, really?
It's like the Chinese translated to English.
Ah,
Like when I open
interesting.
it on my phone, it's literally just Chinese figures.
Is it like just like TikTok?
What is it?
It's
I think it's
just
just called Redbook.
no, it's not nearly as good. Like it's not the same at all, but it's literally like Communist Party ran. So that's
Wow.
why people are downloading it to be like, fuck you. Like we don't care if they take our data.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna download an actual
Chinese.
You take our TikTok and we'll just give the Chinese government everything they wanted anyway. All right, that's the kind of rebellion.
That's the
rebellion
next
we need here.
generation. We need this rebellion. Rise up!
Basically,
Wow.
we're fucked then, right?
I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I don't
Let's
think we're
download it.
fucked, but I'm down to just pay attention to whatever platform does take off very quickly and get in on the ground floor, guys. Let's
you
just
go.
be
Right.
the what's the word? Like the Mr. Beast of the Little Red Book.
Tiff Talk.
TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok, let's start our own. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Everybody
We got
would want to
this.
be on TikTok.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
I'll
talk
be the
show I want to
first.
be on right now.
Yes.
Too. It's gonna be better than I just
Not
imagined,
to
like you
ban
being
TikTok,
like,
just
you know,
shut
the
it
Drew
off.
Barrymore
Yeah,
show, how
TikTok
she's
instead.
like so lovey with her guests. I just imagine you having
Oh, like
a show
crisscross
and just,
applesauce on the couch.
like, yes, all over them. Please tell me everything on TikTok.
That's great.
Yeah.
Better than
It
Oprah.
reminds me of the Dr. Laura that we used to listen to on the radio.
I've called her and talked to her
I
twice.
know. I remember those conversations. Was it something about a doll?
Yes.
Should I let my kids play with dolls?
What
was
the
it?
second time I called, I was pregnant with Thomas and Chandler was 2, and I wanted Chandler to have a doll to practice being a big brother with a baby. And you
Smart.
said, boys do not have dolls. No son of mine is
I
gonna
did?
have a doll.
I don't remember
So
that.
I
Hey,
called
things
Dr.
change.
Laura.
Tell it to
And
us.
honestly, I didn't know. I thought Dr. Laura might side with you because she was very conservative. She says if someone is like living with their partner, she calls them a live-in whore. Literally,
If
every
they're
time.
unmarried, you mean?
Yeah,
Not
got
mince
it.
words.
An unpaid,
Married or unmarried.
I'm sorry,
How dare she?
unpaid whore is what she would call them. She's just very, very right, you know.
Wow.
But she did. She agreed with me and let me.
Those are bold.
You got a doll.
Because you and I
phrases.
decided whatever Dr. Laura says, that will be the answer, whether Chan gets a doll or
And
not.
we've actually.
And I definitely didn't want the doll to be white. It was like important to me. Like, why do all the dolls in Utah? Why are they white? Every doll is white. So I think we got you an Asian or African American doll or something.
Probably had to order it online.
Yeah.
Probably. Did you guys know that Amazon only sold one thing when it first started for years?
Books.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a book,
Crazy.
an online
I
bookstore.
just thought of that like maybe that's not ever been a part of their life, that they didn't know Amazon was a bookstore forever.
Crazy.
I don't think I ever ordered a book on Amazon.
That's
While
fair.
it was like that. It
Either
wasn't
did I.
part of my life, but
Yeah.
I remember having an app called Amazon Audiobooks on my, what's it called, a Kindle?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the one.
And now it's Audible. It's like Amazon owns Audible. Shout out to Tiff, by the way. These awesome cups. Hey!
One thing's clear.
No.
No dysfunction.
Here.
That's right. Cheers to that.
You're so
Boom.
You
awesome.
should hear the song.
And we won't drink out of one another's
That
because they're
nice.
named.
That's
That's
the best
right.
part.
So awesome. Thank you, Tiff.
All mine.
And you can get your customized merch at creativedesigns.com.
Look at that.
Boom.
yeah.
All right, well, should we actually talk about what we
Five
wanted to talk about last week this week?
I think it's time.
We'll get there eventually.
Sure.
What did we want to talk about? Oh yeah, traditions.
Where's that from?
I don't even know. Is
Fiddler
it like?
on the Roof.
I was gonna say, is it the same movie that's like, if I was a rich man?
I don't dig it, I don't dig it, dig it, dig it, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen
You
it.
should have.
Wow.
What's his name? What's his name again?
Kiet,
Oh, it's like a.
Keanu?
No,
Reeves?
I'll know it as soon as he says it. The main guy has a very specific name. Everyone has a specific name. A
Unique.
very it's like, it's
It's
that
like
guy.
ATF or
Yeah.
I can't
What is
remember.
it? Now we'll
remember.
figure it out later.
There's
Fiddler
a
on the
song
Roof.
that's playing in my head, but it's a girl singing.
Well, aren't they like a Hebrew
If I
family,
were
like a
rich.
Yeah,
Jewish
I think
family?
so, yeah. What if we just
Yes.
every week when we start the podcast, we'll just guess a name until we get it right. We'll have them look it up,
Eventually,
and
someone
eventually
will
we're gonna
get
get it.
I like that idea.
What are we talking about?
I have no
That's
idea.
Okay. What we'd
The
tell you
dad
if we knew.
in the movie Fiddler on the Roof.
Traditions. That guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're talking about tradition.
Oh man,
So many squirrels going in this room right
The
now.
first comment we're gonna get on any video is this is his name.
Yeah, and also take your Adderall, everybody. We are off subject.
There's only water in these
We're-
cups, I promise.
That is
Yep.
true, actually.
Cheers
Wait,
to
no,
that.
mine has
I don't
Gatorade.
have anything in mine.
Oh,
You've
that's
got a
sad.
Gatorade
Yeah, you
next
got a
to
bottle.
your
Oh,
thermos.
okay.
So, maybe we should just ask, so we'll start answering. What are some things we do to stay
you go.
connected as a family? Some traditions, some...
We try to have a family activity, family time every Sunday where both households all get together.
That is
As
true.
many people as possible.
That's a good one.
Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 5 hours. We just
Sometimes it's all
take
day.
turns, go back and forth, which household makes the plan.
That
Yeah.
is a good one, and it's like it really has been so great in so many ways, especially over the last year plus.
Yeah, we've made some good...
Oh right.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
it's been especially great. 'Cause
Well,
it's
before
the only
that,
time we've done it.
when the kids were little, we always did a Monday lesson, and eventually that changed to a Sunday lesson, and that was a tradition for a lot of years. And then that has evolved and transitioned, and I think that's what's happened with a lot of our traditions is that we have to kind of be intentional about allowing them to evolve. Like one tradition we had when they were really little is we called them one-on-ones, where every night all the kids went to bed at 8, and then one child got to stay from 8 to 8:30 and do like whatever they wanted with the parent or whatever, that one-on-one time. And then eventually that transitioned into like one-on-one lunch dates, one lunch date a week per kid, or 1 kid a week. And those weekly activities that were our Sunday lessons now are like our Sunday activities, but sometimes we do a lesson-based activity. But it just changes and evolves, and we used to have dinner at home around the table every single night, and every night I would ask the kids, or we would ask the kids, what was your favorite and least favorite part of the day? And that was very helpful when the kids were little, but it's not really realistic to have a family meal every night now, so we have to find new ways of checking in with each other. So I just think it's been kind of an interesting thing to see how our traditions have to evolve to continue to be intentional about staying connected as schedules and jobs and life changes.
Absolutely.
I remember one of the most recent lessons was at the community park, and you were, given the lesson about the rocks in the jar. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe if you could briefly summarize what the point was, and then
Maybe you could briefly summarize what the
can't
point
remember.
was.
I can't remember. I should remember
I'm just
because I
kidding.
repeated the whole lesson to the cops shortly after. That's where I'm going
I love
with
that.
this.
I love
That's
that's
how
the
our
story.
Sunday
To
lessons
the
go.
cop shortly after.
Yeah.
Welcome
That's
to
so
our
great.
family.
Yeah, it was great
No,
because
yeah.
the family. I was having to explain to these security guards. I'm like, listen, you guys are kicking us out of this park. We were here trying to teach our kids a lesson on life, and I told them what the lesson was, but
That's so
I've since
awesome.
blocked out the trauma. But
I don't blame you. That's funny. It was about like prioritizing the most important things that will cause us to be the most healthy and happy. So if you put the big things in first, like a workout and a healthy meal and some meditation first, then you pour in the sand and the sand all fits. But if you pour in the sand first, like the TikToking and the dawdling around and the relaxing and the hobbies and all the fun stuff, then if you put that in first, the 3 big rocks don't fit, but it's all the same stuff. So if you prioritize those first, then everything just fits and works out really well. It's kind of
It's a beautiful lesson, and the cops should have cared about
They-
it.
And the cops were lame.
Yeah. Like maybe show some heart. I don't know.
I wouldn't go as far as to call them cops.
Oh, that's fair.
Park
Park
security.
Cops.
That's honestly
right.
my
They
bad.
said they were calling the cops.
Yeah.
You're right.
Tried to wait around to see if the cops were going to show up, but eventually gave up. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
A really good point that you just made that I actually hadn't thought about with our traditions, in that the ones we have right now, like, we're not the same as what we had 10 years ago. And I see so often, like in families and maybe we've all experienced it in our own, but traditions where everybody's not that into it. It's just like, why are we doing this? Because my grandma did and her grandma did, and we're a family and whatever. And it's like, if the whole point is to enjoy time together and create those memories, like, let's figure out what works and what everybody would like to do instead of just being like, this is what we do because we've always done it. So I think it does take like adjusting, and it looks different at different ages and at different stages of your family, what that quality time and making memories, which you know something about.
Let's make
some
some memories.
Which I lost my own train of thought too. So
That's great.
yeah,
But yeah, just recently for Christmas, we were trying to make a plan. I was trying to make a plan like, hey, let's go out of town. Let's go visit grandparents up in the mountains, or let's go this, or let's go do that. And to my surprise, the responses that I got from our teenage-aged children was like, wait, are you trying to say that we're not gonna have like Christmas afternoon at Rosati's, and like while our family restaurant is closed, just go there and chill and play games and listen to music and do karaoke? And I was just like, I didn't realize until a couple weeks before Christmas this year that has become a tradition in the minds of some of our children.
yeah, love it.
Yeah.
And so that's great. I love it. It's just evolving, like
Yeah.
you were talking about.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
along with sorry.
No, I don't. I'm literally just confirming.
I was just going to say, along with Christmas too, is the traditional Christmas in this country is presents and the tree and whatever. And there's been a lot of conversation in our family this year about, is that what we really want, is to be stressing about presents and and so that conversation in our family is just ongoing, and we're just kind of planning on figuring out what our Christmases do look like from now on. But we're all just a little bit fed up with the stress of gift giving, including the kids. Like, I feel like I've talked to literally all of the kids, including our 11-year-olds, like, I'm good to just go on a vacation if we want to just forego the presents, and so I think there's maybe somewhere in between, in the middle, that we can, as a family, but I do think that it's important to not just go along with traditions just because that's what we do, but to have them be what feels really good to your family and unique and special.
And they can change. The tradition should just be spending that time together, whatever it is.
I'll be honest, every time Christmas Eve goes by and I don't have my mom's funeral potatoes, it's kind of like a dagger in my heart. But
Well, I didn't know that. We can make you
okay.
some potatoes.
Right.
We'll get you some
Tip, we
funeral.
got
I've been
this.
suffering in silence.
Between the
all
two of
along.
us,
You're supposed to communicate. Use your words.
That's
Use
what
your
I'm doing.
words.
That's what I'm doing.
Don't rake them across the coals for expressing.
Don't tell me how to
Congratulate
live my
me.
life.
I'll put it in a notes file for next year. Or this year, I guess.
Good.
Yeah. See how easily we talk things out. We're fine.
Yeah, let's
Right.
never fight again.
Right.
Yeah, so in general, I think my opinion is intention really helps. And so a lot of the time we just get lost in the day-to-day life, And so to create moments regularly with your family, not just the holidays, but when the kids were little, we did pizza and movie night once a week because that made sense because we were all just home and little kids. And that was something we could look forward to, And I just think there's beauty and value in ritual and tradition. It gives everybody something to look forward to. It brings joy. It brings connection. And it takes a little bit of intention and a little bit of planning, but it's worth it.
And allowing it to evolve however the family is evolving, I love it.
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
it's a good
At
point.
no point should it just be like, no, this is what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Bushman Farish Blake family tradition.
It's also, you just talking about how you weren't aware that Christmas had become a tradition, to so many of these guys. It makes me think how many things are we doing all the time with our kids that to them might feel like a tradition or a ritual or is important to them that we don't maybe even view that way or understand that way, that we could miss or stop doing altogether, and it could be a real like, oh, that's a bummer. Like I loved doing that or whatever, you know. So I think just keeping your awareness open and communication open to, you know, be open to what they want and what gives them happiness, you know.
For sure.
Spending time
Like
together.
punishments, we could skip out on those.
We could.
Skip them all together.
I think we should go back to writing sentences.
Oh boy.
Chan, how do you feel about that?
Oh.
There's a notebook somewhere out there.
It's a fair perspective.
But I do think if it is something that would bum the kids out if we stopped doing it, that whole communication thing, I would hope they'd be like, well, wait a second. That's going to make me a little sad. Can we keep doing that? So.
That sounds
I
like
think
they
that's
did.
how I discovered the
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Rosati's Christmas tradition. Was one of the kids piped up and said, "Wait, hold on. This is what I envisioned Christmas to be."
Yeah.
It is a fun tradition. Now we have a tradition to go on a trip as a family on Thomas's birthday every year.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that we can do to celebrate together and enjoy time to eat together. And one of the other ones that is my favorite is Christmas, that Thomas always loved my homemade rolls, so I would like stuff his whole stocking with homemade rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's my little tradition to put a homemade roll in everybody's stocking at Christmas.
Yep.
It's a good one.
It's
That's
beautiful.
what that's for. I was wondering.
He's like, why am I getting a roll?
That was
I guess I should have explained it.
that was the first
I
thing I
figured
ate out
Thomas
of my
would-
stocking.
Yeah.
Same.
Right there. I think it was the only thing I ate out of my stocking. Maybe there's the
I
rest
think
of
it's
it
the only
around
thing
somewhere.
I ate too. I ate Anthony's as well.
I just gave all the chocolate to the dogs.
Yeah, it's sharing and caring that really brings you
Yeah.
closer to them.
Seriously. And throwing up.
Were you both vomiting together?
No, the bread was fine.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, what
Glad
are
you-
you implying
glad
about
you
my
were all
bread?
Oh man, well that was a good discussion.
Yeah, way to
about
go,
traditions,
everybody.
TikTok and Willow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess that's it.
Well, thanks
Thanks,
everybody. Have a good one. Mwah.
4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really want to talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, some queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here. 4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really want to talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, some queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here.